"You invited her to this party?" I snapped, clutching the champagne glass. His smirk vanished the second a billionaire strode across the room and kissed her in front of everyone. My jaw dropped, and I could feel every eye on us. I'm Lila Thompson, 33, a marketing manager in New York. I grew up in a middle-class family where I was always overlooked, the one nobody expected much from, while my older siblings seemed to glide through life on praise and privilege. I wasn't invisible, but sometimes it felt like I was invisible to the people who mattered most. I worked hard, loved connecting with people, and quietly built a life I could be proud of, even if it wasn't glamorous. My friends and coworkers saw me for who I was, but family gatherings reminded me that in their eyes, I was still just the ordinary one, the one they quietly underestimated. I've learned to navigate professional and social life without needing approval, and I've discovered a quiet strength in being underestimated. I wasn't rich or glamorous, but I had something they didn't expect: a patience, a sharp mind, and the kind of determination that doesn't need applause. If your family ever treated you like the background character in your own life, subscribe. Share your story in the comments. I'm reading every one. Let's prove them wrong together. Click hype to help us support each other. The night of my siblings' promotion party, I walked into a space filled with laughter, the scent of expensive perfume, and the faint tang of champagne. My sibling greeted everyone with a proud smile, and I felt that familiar twist in my stomach. They had a new spouse, someone polished and beautiful, and they made sure everyone saw me standing awkwardly on the sidelines. "Don't make a scene like usual," my sibling whispered, and I froze. Then, a tall man arrived, a billionaire everyone knew by reputation, and suddenly the air shifted. My sibling's ex, someone I had always known was quietly impressive and intelligent, appeared beside him. The room hushed, and then it happened. A kiss, full and public. Shock rippled through the crowd, and my sibling went pale. Guests gasped, whispers flew, and I realized in that moment how carefully they had curated their image. It was crumbling. First, I was excluded from conversations and photographs, a deliberate snub. People laughed at private jokes, and I smiled politely, refusing to show that their attempts to humiliate me were hitting their mark. Then came subtle insults about my career, my choices, my life, all whispered loud enough for the wrong people to hear. Guests nodded awkwardly, but I didn't react. Finally, my sibling tried to manipulate other relatives into criticizing me, framing it as concern. I stood quietly, letting them speak, knowing every word only added to their overconfidence. They thought I was weak, but I wasn't. I had learned to see through their games and respond strategically, not emotionally. Each small betrayal taught me patience, and I could feel a quiet satisfaction in knowing I had unseen advantages. What they didn't know was that I had quietly built a financial portfolio through savvy investments and freelance marketing deals, the kind of security that let me walk away from any situation with confidence. I had contacts in media, insider knowledge, and small hints planted in conversations that only my closest allies could interpret. During the party, my glances at a trusted family lawyer were brief but meaningful, and a small smirk crossed my face as I realized I held cards they could never see coming. They thought they were winning, but I had a plan. Subtle and powerful, hidden under layers of patience and preparation. My ally, the old family lawyer, had been discreetly advising me for months. They knew every shady deal my sibling had engaged in and suggested ways to expose the truth without making a scene. While my family reveled in their apparent victory, I quietly followed their guidance. We coordinated moves that would come together perfectly, letting arrogance blind my sibling while I prepared the reveal. Every toast, Every congratulatory hug, every laugh from the crowd only sharpened my focus. They celebrated thinking they had won, and I let them. The tension built like a quiet storm, a contrast to the bright lights and music of the party. Later, in my siblings' penthouse, I orchestrated the reveal. Friends and family had gathered under the impression it was a continuation of the celebration, but I turned all eyes toward my sibling. Using subtle hints and confirmations from my lawyer, I exposed their lies, reckless financial decisions, and the way they had manipulated people to maintain their image. My sibling tried to deflect, stammering and flailing, but the billionaire ex supported me openly, quietly undermining every excuse. I spoke with calm precision, showing not anger, but undeniable competence and confidence. Every statement revealed that the person they had underestimated had quietly built a life far stronger than they could have imagined. Humiliation reversed, admiration emerged, and my sibling finally realized that arrogance and overconfidence were their downfall. Walking away from that night, I felt stronger than ever, validated in ways money and praise could never give. My family faced regret, seeing that underestimating the quiet one comes with consequences. Being overlooked isn't a weakness, it's an opportunity to grow in places where no one is watching. I learned that self-worth is not granted, it's earned quietly and deliberately. If your family ever tried to shame or humiliate you publicly, you know the sting. Subscribe and share your story in the comments so others know they're not alone. Your resilience matters, and you can turn the tables too. Click Hype to help this story reach others who need it. Standing up for yourself is tough. If you've been there, subscribe and join our community. Let me know this story helped by clicking Hype and tell me where you're watching from. I love seeing how far these stories travel.